I would also like to add a slightly analytical perspective.
Go on.
Has any of the viewers noticed that around these conversations, there's a strong pattern with feminists, right? So normally it's everyone's being abused, none of them report it, and their personal experience counts for the reality. So it's normally like, everyone. I know two people who got jumped by guys on the street. So that makes it a problem. I didn't tell anyone at the time, but I was suffering inside. I was damaged in all these ways that no one can really prove or evidence. But I will tell you I was damaged because I guess no one can prove it. And it's an issue for everyone.
Well, that's why boys don't report it. So domestic abuse for boys don't exist because the police don't see it.
No, what Alex is saying is that you can't use the statistics when you're not contributing to that statistics to defend what you have not reported. That's basically what he's saying.
I think
you
it
can't use that to your advantage if you don't help contribute that, because you reporting it. No matter when it happens, you can report a year later, 2 years later, report it. Help contribute to that statistic in such a way it now shows and proves that,
because
that importance.
Even if they don't press charges today or tomorrow, or for your case, like, people have patterns of behavior.
Exactly.
And so you're just contributing to the problem by not reporting it. By going on a podcast, using the story to make you look good. And then,
I don't need it to make me look good.
And then not reporting it. And then saying that under the guise of I'm doing this to help women. It's like, if you wanted to help women, then you would have went to the police.
Okay.
They're all noble victims.
It's like, I don't know, like, I think that sometimes when people like talk about these situations they haven't gone through, they really don't get the image. For example, the reason why I don't even need to report it, because a lot of these things have happened in public. I actually said, withdraw the charges. I don't want him to go to prison. Why? Because I loved him and I didn't want him to be in prison over something that I thought me and him could actually resolve. Family could be involved and help. But you're fighting a lot against a lot of factors. That's why I say, if you're going to use the argument of, like, oh, you're here talking about it, but you didn't report it, didn't happen, then men don't get abused. And the point still remains, women get abused more than men. That's like as simple as that. And that's why I'm saying,
like,
that? Because men don't report it, so it don't happen.
One-sided abuse is more common for women to do. So if it's not mutual hitting.
Okay.
Because like I wouldn't say that's an abusive relationship if you guys are hitting each other. Like I wouldn't say you're a victim if you're hitting each other. You're just toxic.
Yeah. It's just toxic.
And so I would argue you're not a victim if you're hitting each other constantly.
This reminds me of the theory of hysteria. If you read, like, the Victorians used to talk about this is like, quite controversial, but the Victorians had this idea that of hysteria, that sometimes women would get into hysteria about things and like just make stuff up. And a lot of the time when I talk to the feminists I meet outside, I do get the vibe that, like, she might be, because there's people that they all say the same thing. It's like, apparently everyone's been abused. Doesn't matter whether they go to a top uni or the worst uni, everyone's abused. Especially when there's a big media event, all of a sudden everyone comes out and they've had the same story. And I'm like, really? Like, because Amber Heard got punched in the face, now you were getting whooped yesterday? Really? I've known you for like 3 years. And it just shows a lack of accountability. Like, when you ask them these questions, they start throwing out all these words.
Well, it's because it goes back to, if you really cared about women, you'd report it. If you genuinely, like, because you can report it later and you might not win, but at least it goes on record and police can pull up those records to use in a case later.
Cool. Like I said, any records that need to be used will be used. The reason why I would prefer to use this platform to speak about it and to do that is because, like I said, I don't only just champion women and men and sometimes men. Today I'm meant to be on the boys' side. And I also champion the Black community. Culturally, there's certain things that I decided not to do because I have a complex makeup. So I'd rather sit here and tell girls, if you're being abused and you don't know what to do and you're lost and you feel like your world is so lonely and nobody can help you, I'm telling you can get out of it. If you don't feel like reporting to the police, don't. Go speak to somebody. Somebody will understand because people have gone through it and they've come out of it stronger than whatever situation they were in. So that's all I'm saying. Abuse exists. It's real. It's very, very deep. And that's why people sometimes don't talk about it. The same way it goes for men, the same way it goes for women. But let's not try and act like women don't actually go through this. And a lot of the time, like you said, women will all then say, oh yeah, I was abused as well. Yeah, because a lot of people go through things and they hide it. They're embarrassed or they feel ashamed, or especially when you're not talking about, oh yeah, but you're damaged goods and things like that. People won't speak up. That's what it is.
Listen, right, you can go if you're abused and you can report it and nobody would know about it. Nobody would know about it. They've even got special codes now that you can go into a shop and you can say to them, you know, give them a keyword. I can't remember what the name is. It's a woman's name.
Yeah, it's
Where
at the bar.
is the code?
Yeah.
Exactly.
At the bar. It's called Angela. If you go to the bartender and you tell them I need to call Angela,
or even in any shops or chemists or, you know what I mean, some pharmacies. Where is that for men? So it's not to say that, oh, you're going to feel shame. Listen, right, if anybody's out there getting abused, report it. Don't go and talk to your friends about it. Go and report it. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Nobody needs to know. Don't go out there and advertise it. Go and talk to somebody about it. Yeah, that's what you need to do. I am champion for the women. It's nothing to do with culture. It's nothing to do with the blackness. It's to do with women and men, full stop. If you are getting abused, go and report it. Don't talk to your friends about it. As soon as it happens, go and report it because there is help for you. And I would like them to be codes for men too. There should be codes for men so that if a man is getting abused, rather than going somewhere and you think to yourself, well, I'm a man and I have to go and report this, there should be a code where a man goes into a police station, said the code, and then he gets treated the same way as if a woman says the code.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, Auntie, but you get some people out there that they just won't go to the police either because they feel like the police ain't gonna do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
I hear you, but I'm just saying in general, there's a lot of people. You can't say that to everyone. If you've been abused, go report it to the police because not everybody's gonna do that. Some people don't even trust the police. Like some people might have like, maybe say for example, the police killed my son, or you know what I mean. They don't trust the police, so everybody's not gonna go to the police.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, right? But if they're not gonna report it, and you don't want to say nothing about it, shut up about it. Don't go on social media and advertise it.
I agree.
Shut up about it. Because I don't understand how somebody could be too scared, too frightened to report it to a police, but they're not too scared, too frightened to go on a public platform and talk about it. It don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me.
Do you know what it is, right? You get some people, right, they feel like if they announce it on the social media, they feel like they're releasing their stress. You know what I'm saying? This from my experience. I've seen this. You know what I'm saying? In this generation right now, back in the days and all that, but in this generation right now, I've seen a lot of people when they're going through this that they feel like if they go on social media, go on the live, and then express their feelings because they just want the world to know what they're going through.
Yeah, but there's therapists.
I hear that, but a lot of people don't do that.
Friends and family. Like, why are you going to like if you're saying you're afraid? If you're afraid of not being believed, if that's what you're saying, then you're going to go talk to more people about it? That doesn't, like, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4.
It doesn't make sense, but I'm just saying,
this
you
is
get,
what they say,
you get some people like that.
Yeah, but, like, why do you, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I think it's a form of social currency now.
Have you been abused?
Yeah.
Oh, how was it? Did you report it?
No, because...
Then don't say you've been abused then. Same as me. Sorry.
No, that's not how that works. So you don't use your experiences as a way to kind of prove a point, but that doesn't mean you can't factually state that. Like you asked the question, so I'm going to answer your question factually.
Well,
anyway,
I don't believe it then.
Moving on. Yeah, I think it's a form of social currency. I think because we see this a lot, right? Where they all come up here and everyone's got their victim story and they're all noble victims. And I just feel like they get a kick off it. Like it's cool to be like. To be one of the downtrodden, it's cool to be a victim.
Sorry, I wouldn't say it's like cool to be a victim. I went through it, and I think maybe because time has passed, like you said, you are now able to vent about what happened. But maybe when you're going through that, and I'll say as someone who did go through that in 2 relationships, there was no way I could speak about it because to me, no one would believe me. To me, I just had a baby with him, and you've given this guy a son, and
you made your bed lying in it.
And to society, especially to like Latin American cultures,
Portuguese.
Okay, you have to like, even though as stupid as it sounds, okay, you've had a child with someone. Okay, make it look like you're doing well in life. So you don't want to come out and say, you know what, I am being abused. I am being mentally. Being abused. I have to say mentally because it wasn't physical with this one.
Right.
So what happened the second time? Can I ask what happened the second time?
The second time was it became physical, but with this one, it was both. So I have to say that I also got physical with him, and there was a time I headbutted him so hard in the mouth, and he had a bus lip for a whole week.
Did he call the police on you?
No, he didn't. Because he would always say, "I'll never call the police on you because that's not me. I'm a man and I'll take it." And in my head, Aunty Jenny, I was like, I'm a piece of shit, because even though he's tall and he's bigger than me, I still hit him, and I have no right to do that. So I am abusing him, even though he did that. So it was just like you say, it was an absolutely toxic relationship. But now when I look back at it, I'm like, I don't blame him. I don't see him any less, because I was just as bad as him. Like we were just as bad as each other.
I respect that you can admit that. I think it's definitely a lot of strength it takes to come and kind of own up to your part in negative experiences. I've noticed a lot of people who say these kind of things have this idea that like they never had anything to do with it, right? I couldn't have solved my own problem for this, that, but they can come out and tell the whole world about it. But when you ask them, what did you do in the time? I know people who are like staunch feminists and they're still dating guys and being abused and telling me about it like it's some like, oh, I'm a victim. I was like, girl, you've been reading all these like Margaret Atwood books for time. You still didn't know when you were being punched in the face that you should maybe leave? And you can't just be like, I'll hold the L. You know, I stayed in a bad situation too long. I should have moved. But you rarely get that. It's normally everyone else's fault. So I respect your admittance.
Thank you.
Accountability is important in a relationship, I guess. Everyone looking at, of course, there's who does more than the other. But accountability is important, I guess.
Can I just say, right, I'm listening to you, the young lady in the middle, Lucy?
Luce, yeah.
Luce. Have you had any counselling or anything like that for what you've been through?
I with my first relationship.
No, with the whole thing, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at you and it's still raw.
I have to say, I am like a feisty little something. But yes, I have had counselling, and I'm still having it.
Okay.
On my anger and my explosiveness, which has calmed down a lot. But do you mean in like relationship wise or in,
no?
Like, in general?
I'm just glad that you're getting some kind of help. I hands up for that. I like that, because you can tell in your face that the way you're talking about it, like it happened yesterday, and it still has that same effect on you. That's why I just thought you look traumatized.
Oh wow, I didn't see that at all. But
don't forget, I've been abused. I've been abused as well, and I can see why when she was talking, it was like she was reliving it. It was like me. Mine's all gone. Do you know what I mean? I just packed that away a long time ago, got rid of it, had counselling, sorted it out. But for her, to me, it was raw. I expected her to burst out crying, like to relive it all over again. Oh. That's what I picked up from her. That's why I asked. And the fact that it's still ongoing, counsel is still ongoing. Listen,
I'm not that good at reading the backs of people's heads, so maybe that's it.
You're right.
No, I am still taking counselling. Like in the relationship I am now, it's very healthy, though there are some things that don't go right. You know, the partner I have now, he's like very smart and he tries to like outsmart me sometimes, and I don't want him to outsmart me, but I recognize that he is smarter than me. So we have like we clash sometimes. So for that reason, I do take counselling, but the counselling I have taken before has absolutely helped me control my anger, because I would be one that if someone was beeping at me in the car, I would come out like, and punch them. Like, I would be on one. Whereas now,
Colombiana.
Yeah, whereas now I am not that person. Like, let's say road rage has calmed down, but I can't say that I'm perfect. No. Yes, I do take counselling. And I love it.
Wrong in
yeah, and he the other day he was like, here's £80 for your counselling, like for a Colombian lady back home. And then he's like, I support that, because we are going to do anything that means for our relationship to be healthy. We have to invest and put some money down. Hey ho, why not? But I'm all for that. I'm not going to say, okay, I took some counselling and I'm fine now. No, like I'm still.
I have a question.